this thing works. It's gonna be sweet. Jitterbugs usually need a lot of tweaking and testing and things to get it right, but from what I know, this is gonna work. Shop is an absolute mess. I don't even have time to clean it. It's past 10:30 already. I've just been sitting right here, just trying to figure out what I'm gonna make for like an hour. I had this drawn up, but then I remembered I already did a lure with a lip on the back and it was horrible. We've already determined that we can't have lip on the backs. The next logical thing to make is a jitterbug, of course. They're kind of hitting top water right now. I mean, last time I was out, they were. Hey, let's go get that Tupelo wood. I was reluctant to pick this piece if you couldn't tell. The grain on the end here is all twisted and weird, but we can make it work. It's Tupelo wood, we can make it work. This is putting off some groovy vibes. Clean. Got that marked. This bait has a joint. Never done a jointed jitterbug on this channel before. I think it's gonna be good. I've said that too much now. I'll stop saying how good I think this is gonna be. All right, when I put the top view profile of this on, I need to predict where those two cuts are gonna meet, put the center line of that template perfectly over that. Kind of a touchy-feely thing. I'm hearing a strange bird out there. All is fine and dandy in the Marling bait shop right now. You can kind of see through that paper that it's in the right spot. They're just ripping apart those little cutesies. Those aren't oranges, those are cutesies. You know what? I'm not in a hurry. It's almost 11 and I don't even care. I'm not in a hurry. Fishing with a jitterbug in the middle of the day, not preferable. So if this takes like 6 hours, I don't even care. I want to fish when the sun's kind of going down, you know? Maybe even nighttime. I've never fished nighttime for a one day. Maybe. Maybe I'll snag it and break it off in a tree 30 feet up, and that's the end of that. Maybe. Smooth as heck. All right, time to start carving. There is some extensive marking out to do. This bait's got some specific kind of body shape that I prefer for jitterbugs. Maybe I should just call this jitter style baits instead of using the trademark. Jitter bait. There we go. I should say jitter bait. I mark out the big eye socket placement by hand like that, and then I drill it. Just so I know those lines are right where they need to be. And look at that, we got some kind of downward facing eyes. It's deeper at the bottom than at the top. See if I can do the same on the other side. Kind of grabbed. That scared me. That's the weird grain though, doing stuff that I was talking about earlier. There we go. Deep at the bottom, shallow at the top. It's gonna point the eyes down into the water a little bit. So possibly grab light from, you know, up in the sky and bounce it down deeper into the water. That's the theory. Okay, it's very uncommon with Tupelo wood, but I feel like I'm gonna have to battle some wood grain. We got time though, no rush. What a nice relaxing one day. Oh, my fancy way of carving this to aid in the action of a jitterbug is to leave it nice and round, more mass on the top than on the bottom. As you can see, the chamfer lines are going to be taking off much more wood on the bottom than just this little bit on the top here. Keeps the buoyancy high on the top of the bait because there's more floating wood, floating power. That really isn't for any other reason than just looks. So the eyes kind of bulge up like that on either side. I'm not thinking it's gonna catch water and do anything to the action, if that's what you're wondering. This piece of Tupelo is so wonky. Just a bit of choppiness in there, you see. Kind of irritating. I'm okay, don't worry. Just a wee bit at a time, don't get greedy. And it's time to slice it in half. This thing looks pretty good. I didn't even bother showing you how good it looks. It looks so good. We're gonna try to make this thing without putting any lead in it. Lead-free bait, it's kind of lame. Who wants a lead-free bait? That one didn't even snap apart. I got it so close, it was just... It's just a release of air, that's all it was. Hitting the edges with some 300 grit. See, that's the shape of the cutout. It's more narrow at the bottom than anything else. Left a lot of wood at the top. Hooks are gonna weigh it down. Even the rear hook hanger is lower than everything else. We got this big chunk of metal mostly on the bottom of the bait to weigh it down as well and keep it sitting upright on the top. But hey, this thing looks amazing. It's got a pretty neat little gill structure with that lip off the front. Amazing. So I'm gonna drill a bunch of holes by hand for some reason. I feel like drilling them by hand today. Actually, I've already had enough of that. I've found with these, the line tie doesn't work very well. On the originals, they have a little thing coming down from the line tie. It's not a screw eye, it's like a pinned and loop thing that you tie off on. I think if I put a screw eye sticking out a little bit from this one in the middle, that'll be good. It'll be like the same thing. And I'll be sure to angle it up so it kind of is where the original line tie would be. I'm gonna get this joint hardware made really quick. Some of the boring stuff out of the way. Get this bait put together and I'll see you at the test tank. Oh, super glue bath too. Smooth, man. Oh my goodness. Don't spill the super glue. Pro tip, don't dump the super glue on your leg. Line tie right there. Pressed up nice and flush against that whole mouth. You get the screw eyes in the body, the hook hangers. I'm gonna put the hooks on, then we're gonna test it in the test tank. Here we go. It sits upright. Oh, I saw it. It does it. It definitely does it. Let me get my phone. What does it need? It might need that split ring off the front. It needs something. It does the thing though. You can see the jitter. Okay, I'm gonna try a split ring off the front, 1 second. That's better. That's a lot easier to get going. And that's how it goes when it's slow. It makes the plop. That's pretty darn good. That's almost Action City. That feels reliable enough to have confidence in. Yeah, and it's kind of weird. I feel like this is gonna work even better when I get more weight on it with the clear coat and the paint and the eyes and stuff. You can just kind of tell when a bait's gonna work better if it's a bit heavier, and I think this is that case. I used to have a JitterBug like that with that paint scheme, and I want that paint scheme again. I mean, it's hard to beat a solid black JitterBug, but that'd be kind of lame, so that's what we're doing. The shape of this bait with those corners on the lateral lines and whatnot, it'll segment the colors. The yellow from the blue, purple on the top, reds in the head. Feeling colorful today. Violet Volt Fluoro. This is on the, more towards the head, along the back. You always got to make sure they match up when you're doing a two-piece bait. This is Phantasmal Blue, my lightest blue, and we need that light blue because that's the blue that's on this bait. All right, I really blasted the back piece. I feel like that's where most of the blue belonged, but I just want to put a thin line of black on the back. The real thing is like a lot of black, thin line of black. We need a nice deep yellow now. Deep yellow. This is a fluorescent yellow, but when you layer it up, it gets pretty deep. Super bright. That was the paint, I didn't fart. Oh, goodness, I'm gonna stop doing that. I'm gonna have the urge to overdo this, so I'm gonna try to control myself. So that purple, I'm gonna come back with it in the gills, and I'm gonna transition from that purple to that yellow in the gills already with a red. I need to finish doing this though, before I do that. Getting ahead of myself. You see a little bit of green up towards the lateral line, because then it turns straight to blue after the lateral line, because the paint couldn't hit up there due to the angle. The yellow is deep. The colors are great so far. Let's do that thing I was talking about. Okay, the blood red is in the brush. The violet volt has been sprayed over the gills and eye area a schmidget. It's just like the lower section of the gills, but not the complete bottom. Somewhere kind of lower, that's it. Hey Raz, what's up? Okay, she wanted me to put her to bed. The deed is done. Back to the blood red. In the spot where I very poorly described where it belongs. Back to that. That's the vibe right there, that's what I wanted. Wow, that looks really good to me. Put some down low and on the face, right on the front where the lip's gonna connect. Apart from the black on the top and it not having a yellow eye yet, that looks like it's gonna be spot on. Okay. Next thing is next. We're gonna get some scales going. Pearly white scales. Ooh. I just cut my finger with these scissors. I've never done that before. Just grabbed. I don't think it's gonna bleed. Never mind, I didn't cut it. That just hurt. I just did that. Luckily, I did not react like a little girl and go, ah! Fairy dust is all that's going on this. Okay, I think I over applied. Here's a scale reveal of some over application right here. You ready? Yep. It's not too bad. You can still see blue behind that. That side's better, but I'm gonna need to reapply that blue and maybe even some purple. Got the black on the top. That's almost done. I just need to put the eye on. Okay, after loads and loads of deliberation, I've decided on this Dead Meat Custom Eye because it matches the gills the best. I put the red and stuff in the gills. It's pearl white and red, and that's pretty much pearl white and red. That's what we're doing. The original just has this yellow painted on, pretty much doesn't even have an eye. So let's give this an eye. Yeah, man, that's good stuff. It'll bring more attention to the paint scheme itself, just giving it that eye. It's kind of plain, but it's really cool. Pearl white and red. Clear coat. So other than a few tiny deep bubbles in the eye and around the eye socket, we got a very, very clean, one of the cleanest I've ever gotten. Oh my goodness, that is clean. Clear coat. I let it spin on the rotisserie for like 15 minutes because I'm really taking my time today. Stunningly clean UV clear coat on this. Lovely. That extra spin time really does the trick. The trick has been done. It levels out and it gets super smooth. And I think the consistency that the thickness is over the whole thing helps it when it sets really quick in the sun. Consistent thicknesses, you know? You know? You guys are probably wondering if I'm okay. And I don't know. Because I just completely forgot to put those black dots and stripes on this. So it's a little bit more plain than normal, but whatever. This is a one day. It's the best excuse in my life. Like, whatever, it's a one day. I love saying that. We're gonna get the hardware in this plain JitterBug paint scheme. I think it looks a little bit more bombastic and fruity. Good choice of words, fruity. It's okay because it looks more fruity. That was a lot of wrist churning. Quick peek at how it's doing. Really good. Yeah, it's jittering. That looks really, really, really good. That little bit of extra weight did the trick. It's almost 4 o'clock. I need to go make it official. Okay, I might spend the whole day here. I don't know. I got like 3 hours to fish. If it gets dark at 8, I think that's about right. Here we go. That is a fine looking JitterBug right there. Something came off the dock and it's looking at it. That was close. That didn't look like a small fish either. Fish on. Lake bass. It's official. Like jointed, flamboyant topwater jitterbugs. It's official. It's a dink, but it's a lake bass. It's not just a pond bass. That's pretty official for me. Be free. Got one. That was just like messing around on the surface, like not a consistent retrieve at all. Being kind of a dork with it. Seems to work. Oh, one day complete, 525. I got bluegill looking at it. Multiple species. Whew, that happened fast. Another JitterBug bass. It is official. Bass-like jointed JitterBugs. Be free. I was speechless at first. That bass was caught so fast.
Holy smokes, it's a fella buncher.
Excuse me. So I rummaged around from spot to spot after that. Quite a few spots. No use in me showing all that though, because no more fish were caught. I'm probably showing that right now, aren't I? I can't help but show you every spot I go to for some reason. And it was later that night. It was during sundown. It was in some pretty primo juicy spots and it was pretty quiet out there. I think I had some panfish nibble once in a while, but pretty quiet out there. That's too bad. They wanted that late afternoon, early evening. Not even evening. Does evening, if the sun's going down at all, does that qualify as evening? Where's the line between late afternoon and evening? Who knows? Does the sun have to be down for it to be evening? Maybe it's that. I like it. I'm happy to have made this. It works good. I'm probably gonna use it in the future if I need a jitterbug. Very functional little jitterbug fella. What do you think about jitterbugs? Do you like jitterbug? If I'm being real, I'd rather throw a walking bait, a topwater wake bait, things like that most of the time. Jitterbugs don't have much of a spot in my arsenal, but it's a great change of pace. Occasionally, I can't talk today. Thanks for watching. On to the next bait. You guys are probably wondering if I'm okay. Oh my goodness, the deed is done. I'm okay.